I have a lot of problems with the series High-Rise Invasion. High-Rise Invasion is a battle royale survival anime where players have to try and survive in a high-rise environment connected by bridges where masked individuals are constantly trying to kill them. Where at the start of the first episode, our main character is a defenseless high school girl who is freaking out. However, 5 minutes later, not even by the end of the episode, 5 minutes later, thanks to a phone call with her brother, she has her nerves resolved and is able to be a cold-blooded professional doing whatever she needs to survive. Sure, that's how that works. While this is somewhat understandable, as she has just been teleported to a new world and fight or flight would kick in, apparently landing on fight, the speed of her resolve is questionable at best and outright lazy at worst. Her resolve of this newfound bravery leads her to creating a diversion by burning the body of a corrupt police officer who had just died using his lighter, which means most likely after less than an hour in this new world, Yuri was comfortable enough with burning a human body. Oh, yeah, by the way, this girl's name is Yuri. She's our main character. But I have spent 6 months in Trinidad. Human bodies do not burn like that. Trust me. Even if she had pulled out a lighter from the cop's pocket, there is no way she could have ignited the body like that. Especially considering the fact that the front of his chest and trousers were most likely covered in blood, soaking him and making his clothes all wet. Which, yes, I know in the shot where she flips him over, there is only a small part of his chest that is covered in red, but if there is enough blood to leave a trail as he crawls, as she pulls him, I don't care what the anime says. He would have been covered in blood. And what's more, he is wearing a bulletproof vest, which is most likely made out of Kevlar, which doesn't ignite until 800 degrees. Which, while we're talking about that, why doesn't she take the bulletproof vest? Evidently, it won't protect her from a sniper bullet, but you know, things like knives or handguns or nearby projectiles, it will do a good job of defending her. So, you know, why not take the bulletproof vest that will defend you most of the time? Was it because it was covered in blood? Because, you know, as I just said, that shot didn't show much blood on that bulletproof vest. Was it because you didn't want your clothes dirty? Ugh, no, I don't get blood on my clothes. Oh no! But given the choice between either having a bulletproof vest that can, you know, stop a bullet and save my life, or worrying about getting my school uniform a little bloody, oh no. What choice should I make? I do like my clothes quite a lot. I don't want to get blood on them, despite the fact that later on in the series I get covered in blood. But you know, I could wear a bulletproof vest that defends my life, or I could worry about getting my school uniform bloody. Why'd you do this series? Oh. So it was because you wanted to have the big boobed female character protagonist be able to show her big boobs off in many scenes. I mean, I'm not seeing a counter argument. Why else would you not take the bulletproof vest? And considering the other actions the series does throughout the series and its portrayal of women in sexual manners, I think that's the argument. I don't think there's a counter argument. Why not take the bulletproof vest? Because female leads and jiggliness. What was I talking about? Anyway, once again, back to the main point. There is no way she could have ignited his body, even if the cop had a lighter on him. And that is presuming the blood didn't dampen the wick or flint of it, or even damage the Zippo if it had a metal casing protecting the actual lighter. Even if she could spark the lighter, let's say the officer was such an extreme alcoholic that his body was more prone to spontaneous combustion. Even though he looked to be in his late 20s at the oldest, so it'd be almost impossible to have damage to his body that severely damages it to that point, especially considering the endurance test police officers have to go through before becoming officers, and the fact he would have to be consuming so much alcohol on a daily basis at a significant volume to cause that much fatty damage enough to ignite would leave such a person incapable of functioning. There is no realistic way a body could burn that quickly to the point that his entire body is ablaze in the time it takes Sniper to take a drag of his smoke. No, the only answer is maybe the police officer had a flask of alcohol in his pocket and Yuri used that to soak some of the clothes in alcohol to add an accelerant to the fabric to help burn it quicker. But that would probably just burn through the clothes and not the flesh. And if he is covered in blood, as the series shows, wouldn't the blood just, extinguish the fire? I mean, it may burn over the blood a bit, but it won't ignite that quickly. A body like that takes hours to burn. Those were some long nights in Trinidad. They were warm though, kept the body warm. Smelled terrible though. But, tangent over, let's move on to the main subject I was talking about. After setting the body ablaze and not taking the bulletproof vest that would, defend her life, Yuri sprints off towards a bridge. A bridge that is in open view from the sniper's view, where he can see where it leads, which is to a dead-end rooftop which has zero cover from the sniper shooting at her. So obviously the sniper shoots her dead, right? No, he doesn't shoot her for reasons. What were the reasons he didn't shoot her? Anyone? Why? Anyone know why Sniper did not shoot Yuri in this moment? No? No one knows? And seriously, look at this rooftop. This is a dead end. There is literally nowhere to hide or take cover. Yuri's only choices are 1. Get shot, or 2. Dive off the roof to her death. So hey, maybe that's why Sniper doesn't shoot her, because he's letting her kill herself. I guess that's an argument. Kind of seems redundant. What if she doesn't kill herself? He could just shoot her there and knock her off the bridge. That would kill her. I don't know. I'm just spouting words at this point. But as I said, Sniper doesn't shoot her. Instead, he pulls out a wallet from his pocket which has a picture of Yuri on it, with the words, "To Big Brother" on it. Oh my god, that must mean Sniper is Yuri's big brother that she was just talking to. Maybe he was trying to protect her actually. That makes sense actually. As the series goes on, we learn that isn't true, so this kind of becomes a plot hole that raises many questions. But as the series does go on, we learn more information. And let's actually just take a moment to fawn over Sniper, because look at this beautiful man. I wish I could look that good in a suit and a fedora. I wish I could pull off the fedora look. Okay, we all done fawning over him? Cool. Moving on. After not shooting Yuri, Sniper leaves. Because reasons. Again. No, seriously. Why did he do this? Why did he choose not to try and kill Yuri? This goes directly against the rules that are set up in the series by the series earlier on in that episode. This contradicts the very rules the series made of itself that is holding itself accountable to. So, why? There is a very, very, very loose argument that, as explained later on in the series, that perhaps Sniper didn't shoot her because of something that will happen, but he would have no way of knowing that. So the only real answer is either A, the series broke its own continuity and rules of the world within minutes of setting them up because reasons, or B, for some reason, the mask just chose not to order him to kill her despite still ordering all other masks to kill her. Or C, the series needed to continue beyond the first 10 minutes of the first episode, and it couldn't really happen if the protagonist was killed off. So instead of coming up with a creative, interesting reason and logical explanation for how Yuri escaped the situation, the series just ignored its own continuity and rules and laws that it itself had just set up earlier on in the episode, and minutes later decided to contradict and break and go against so the series could happen. I'm not saying this is what happened, I'm just saying this is a possibility that definitely did happen. Shortly after escaping Sniper's gaze, Yuri encounters another mask wearer who jumps over from one rooftop to another, Matrix style, and they fight, leading to a panty shot. Yay! That was totally necessary to include in this series. I'll go into that in a different video because I have things to say about that. Oh, and look, there is suddenly a rooftop entrance on the dead-end roof that Yuri ran to. Where did that come from? No. Seriously, where did that come from? It wasn't there a moment ago, so what happened? Did it just magically appear? Also, while we're on the subject, how exactly is burning a body a distraction from a sniper? And also, what happened to the burning body? And how the hell is that a distraction? Even if it had distracted Sniper for a second, he would have very clearly seen her running across the bridge and would have easily been able to pick her off. In no way was burning the body a smokescreen to help hide her, or to obscure Sniper's view from a distance. All burning the body did was create a smoke tower broadcasting her location to everyone, and is probably the reason why multiple masks found her. And in the worst case scenario, the only person affected from burning the body would be Yuri, who got smoke inhalation and damaged her lung or hurt her eyes, affecting her accuracy as she could not see clearly. The smart thing to do would have been to take the bulletproof vest and the gun, not burn the body, check inside the window behind her to see if there are stairs leading down into the building or not. If there are, break the window and climb inside. If not, climb inside anyway and wait it out. It won't guarantee your safety, but it's better than being out in the open from a sniper. And in hiding in the building makes you a much more difficult target to hit, as there are brick walls in the way protecting you from gunfire. And try not to get shot while climbing through the window, or gut yourself on the broken glass. Eventually the sniper would most likely get bored and moved on. Once that happened, you can move on and try and traverse the land safely. And in the worst case scenario, if the sniper were not to leave, you still have a human body that very easily burns, and that is, as uncomfortable as it may be to admit, a source of food that you can use to sustain yourself for multiple days. Anyway, moving back to Maid Mask. Yuri pretends to jump off the roof, landing on a ridge a little below, which tricks the Maid Mask to check over the railing, where Yuri managed to get a clean shot at her face, which is followed up by an up-close shot of her butt, and a close-up look at her face looking all innocent. Wow, we totally needed both of those shots in this anime. And you may be asking yourself, hey Dan, if you don't like this series, why are you talking about it? If you don't like it, just don't watch it and don't rag on it. Let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. And yeah, that is a valid point. But I'm not making this video because I dislike the series. I'm making this video because they had a much better story in the series. They could have made the main plot that is far more interesting than the story we got, but didn't. I'm making this video because I'm mad they made the series the way they did. I'm making this video because of all the wasted potential this series wasted. As I discussed in another video talking about High Rise, the series had an amazing story it could have told, but instead pushed it to the sideline so they can make a main story about a big-boobed high school girl who just keeps getting shot from unfortunate angles. Oh no, it's so unfortunate that I, as the author who drew the manga, just happened to end up constantly having to draw the angle in which they were shot in these positions, even though I have complete control over where the POV in each panel is. It's just, I had no control over the fact they just happened to keep showing them in compromising positions. Oh, it's so unfortunate. It's sort of like taking the time to train a Michelin-star Wagyu chef, only to send them to work at McDonald's. There is nothing wrong with McDonald's, but it's the fact that they have the ability, or had the ability rather, to make something so much better that feels disrespectful. And if you had to compare a Big Mac to a carefully cooked A5 Wagyu steak burger, some may say they enjoy the rush that the Big Mac gives, despite being nutritionally empty. And that is fine. I'm not saying Big Macs are bad. I enjoy instant ramen. It's great, even if it is completely nutritionally empty, but genuine fresh-made ramen is always far better. Which is why I dislike the story that High Rise Invasion gave us so much. They had an A5 Wagyu steak, or maybe more like an A3, A2, A3. They had a good piece of meat that they could have made into a burger. But instead, they flash froze it, covered it in preservatives, stuck it in a deep fryer, and made it into a Big Mac. This feels disrespectful to the meat, and this feels disrespectful to the story they could have told. Credit where credit is due though. Jumping off the roof onto a lower ridge was a pretty smart idea, that gave Yuri a chance to prepare her shot. And after getting a clean shot on the maid mask, Yuri returns to the roof to find out Maid Mask is still alive, and only the lower half of her mask is shattered, allowing her to speak, which allows her to do my favourite thing of all time in any media! Exposition dump important information that could have been told throughout the series in a clever and interesting way, causing the character and watcher to both re-evaluate their own personal biases, beliefs and understanding, but instead of doing that was all dumped by one character for no other reason the writer couldn't think of a clever way to explain it. Yay! Seriously, I hate exposition dumping so much. It's lazy and disrespectful to the viewer. So many series do this, but that is a subject for another video. But seriously, if you ever come to the point where you have to exposition dump something that could be told in a story, if you say, hey, just stick around, this will make sense, instead they explain all at once, I hate it. I legitimately hate it. I'm getting angry because exposition dump is so lazy. Stop doing exposition dumps. Let the characters explain it in a realistic way, let the world explore, let the watcher enjoy the world and figure it out on their own. We don't need spoon feeding. Stop it, please. And through this exposition dump, we find out that because of the power of the mask, Maid Mask is ordered to kill herself, so jumps off the edge of the building, and we get another lovely panty shot. Yay, someone's dying, but don't focus on that, look at the panties! Like I said, A5 meat, maybe A3 meat instead, rather A2. It's a good slab of meat that they are just absolutely ruining. Why'd you include this? A character just died and you minimized it to go, look at their panties, panties. After which, Yuri goes across a bridge that very clearly was not there a minute ago, which leads to a building that a helicopter has just landed on. But as she does, one of the bridge supports breaks and she almost falls to her death. Oh no! Maybe it's because the bridge just magically manifested out of nowhere and hadn't finished materializing in the real world yet. That could be why. That explains why they magically just appeared. I mean, that's a joke, but also, legitimately, this world very clearly doesn't adhere to the real world logic in a lot of times. Whether that's an intentional choice or lazy writing, up to you to decide. But there's no clear evidence to say that bridges and roofs don't just magically appear out of nowhere, and legitimately, as much as I dislike it in a series like this, I can see a actual argument for that. This is a world made up of never-ending high-rises. Where do they come from? They don't just materialize out of nowhere, do they? Yeah, probably actually. They do just appear out of nowhere. And sometimes bridges might just appear out of nowhere. This is not a good thing, but I can legitimately see an argument for this. But the fact that it is never explored in the series just makes it feel like they don't... Why is there a bridge there? We needed there to be a bridge there. Wasn't there a second ago, but it is now. If this is the case, they could have at least just once had one character, any character, even a character that was just about to be killed off, that has no relevance to the story. They could have had them run across a bridge, see a mask, and go, oh shit, turn back around. Oh no, the bridge is gone. Oh, it disappeared. And that would make the logic in the world be like, okay, bridges and rooftops and doorways can disappear and reappear. Okay, that is a canonical reason for why bridges may disappear or reappear. Instead, they go, look at this map. There is no rooftop there, there's no entrance, there's no bridge. Now there is! Why? Because we need there to be. I don't like this series. This series has so much potential and they wasted it. That's what makes me so annoyed. I hate wasted potential so much. Because there is such a good story here. There is an amazing, deep, reflective, interesting, philosophical discussion of a series here. But they wasted that so they could focus on boobs. I'm so mad about this. But she manages to make it across the bridge, finding a note stating that if she goes to the helicopter, she'll be taken away from this world. However, as she reads the note, she hears gunfire from nearby. Believing it to be a mask, she goes to investigate, only to find another human. And that's where the credits for episode 1 come in, which shows this guy in a high school uniform stand off against Sniper, and it cuts to a clip of a high schooler as a kid grabbing the arm of another kid with short black hair who happens to be wearing a black jacket, a white shirt and a black hat. Interesting, I wonder who that could be. Before the frame shatters and the scene returns to the two standing off against each other, but with the high schooler smiling and the Sniper taking off his mask. What could it mean? Who could they be? Okay, to be fair, at this point in the series, you have no reason to know who it would be, but later on in the series, it becomes very obvious. And as it does, a lot of problems arise, and if you want to hear about that, there should be a video here explaining why High-Rise Invasion has so many problems. That's just episode 1, by the way. This was just episode 1 we were talking about. There are 11 more episodes, and there are so many problems to have with this series. This is going to be a big ongoing series. I want to cover the entire series because originally it was just like, hey, it's a bad series. But there is so much to talk about in this series where it's like, hey, this is a bad series because of this reason. Let's explore why and why they chose to add this bit into the series that wasn't necessary, that made it worse. But there's only 3 ways you'll be able to watch that video once it does come out. 1, be subscribed. Then it'll show up in your subscription box. That's the easiest way. 2, constantly check the channel every single day to see if I've uploaded it. Kind of time consuming and probably easy if you just did subscribe. Or 3, hope that YouTube randomly recommends you the video once it does go live. Once again, this is an odd chance, so best thing to do, just be subscribed. There's a lot more content as well, not just High-Rise. And yeah, cool. Thanks. My voice is getting sore. I've raised my voice way too much in this video. Thanks for watching. See you next video.